Hey there, off-goers. Muse here, and before we get into episode 99 of the Going Off podcast, just a few things. First of all, this week we were joined by our old friend D-Respect. He stopped by the show. We talked about the Remy Nicki Minaj diss track, but there was also a 15-minute segment of the show we had to cut for time where we talked about DJ Khaled. So if you want to hear that segment, just donate $1 or more to patreon.com/muse and you get access to all of the exclusive bonus content, audio and video, stuff cut from videos, old videos we repost, and, like in this case, segments cut from the Going Off podcast. Also, this week we did a Patreon-requested album review, so if you have an album that you would like reviewed on the podcast, it's a one-time $40 pledge to either patreon.com/muse or patreon.com/rapcritic. And when we say one time, means once the money goes through at the end of the month, you're added to the queue, and then we get to the review first come, first serve. And the last thing I wanted to say was with next week being episode 100, if you have any questions you would like to submit for our Q&A segment, please send them to either of us on Twitter, Facebook, or leave them in the comment section of this video. Now, on with this week's episode of the Going Off podcast featuring D-Respect. Normally on the Going Off podcast, we start with a somewhat relevant rap lyric, something funny, But this week, if I could suggest, perhaps a moment of silence is appropriate. We talked about this briefly before the show. We have different opinions. By the way, this week on the Going Off podcast, we are joined once again by our good old boy, D-Respect.
What's up, man?
There he is again. It's been too long, man. How have you been?
Yes, it has. I've been great. I think the last time was was that 2015 or 2016?
Oh my god, dude! If it was 2015, that's fucking inexcusable.
Fuck. Pot cookies kicking in.
What do we even? Now I'm curious what we reviewed on that one. If
I do know we did Action Bronson.
Yeah,
Mr. Wonderful, because that's where the conversation about the fucking album cover came from.
Oh yeah, we did episode 22 was Action Bronson, and then episode 46 was King Push.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it was the Pusha T EP. But yeah.
God, we're treating these like comic books, like issue 47.
and that was January 21st, 2016. So I do feel better about that. That it wasn't all the fucking way in 2015.
That is right. No, RC's absolutely correct. It's like the podcast is like it's a very tightly sealed piece of memorabilia. It's like, when was that, sir? I'm not sure.
Please don't touch that. It's in its taped envelope with the paper backing. It's a Jimit 10. Thank you. Please don't breathe on it. Something we gotta talk about. The Remy Ma diss to Nicki Minaj that I heard all about for a couple days. I think it's starting to wane off now because there isn't that immediate response.
There's no response, right? Yeah.
Which
it's been a couple days.
She knows better than Meek. Then stay the fuck down. Count the lights.
Look, Trump is president. We got other shit that might immediately fucking take over the news day. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah. So, what do you guys think? I saw this. I read it. I read the lyrics as I was listening. I thought it was pretty scathing, but I wanted to hear what you guys thought about it too.
Well, like we said before, we disagree on whether Nicki was ethered or not. And I don't think she was, because there's still room for a response. I think everything that I've heard over the past few days is like, well, there's nothing that she can say. What are you going to say, that you're more popular than her? That's not what she's talking about. She's talking about bars. If people think that Nicki isn't capable, whether you want to say that she has a ghostwriter or not, I think I think you still have to at least acknowledge the fact that she has at least the technique down and the ability to sound better than Remy does on a song. Other than it being a diss record or whatever, she sounds better than her. Remy was offbeat many times. It sounded rushed. It sounded
like it was recorded in a living room too. Like the production was no good. But see, here's the question: even if Nicki does come back with a ghost written response and she does have the flow down and the production is down, do you think she's gonna go for the fucking throat with the deep references that Remy came with, or is it just gonna be kind of like a basis on the top, where almost like Drake kind of did, like, yeah, it's kind of a diss, even though like only 3 lines actually directly refer to you.
That deep, I don't think she would go at her there. I would think it would just be a general thing. I mean, Nicki's leaving herself wide open, because what the song sounds like it says to me is, had you not existed, had I not went to jail, I would have been where you are.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
I would have been. That's definitely how I'm reading it, because she told her, I think it was towards the end, she said the best thing that happened to you was when I went to prison or something like that. Nicki went at her first originally years ago, but Remy didn't really acknowledge her. So it might break down into one of those things where it's like, well, it's not beneficial for me to respond to you, just like it wasn't beneficial for you to respond to me back then. So that's all right. I'll let you keep your diss record, and that's fine. I don't have anything to prove, which I think would be kind of, my opinion, that would be fucking stupid. I think you should respond, but
Remy doesn't really have a whole lot to lose by recording this.
No, absolutely
has not. A reputation, a lot riding on it. She can't exactly record something talking about someone's alleged or convicted pedophile brother to the same extent where it's like,
she's not really gonna.
I don't really know if that's Nicki's style per se, but see, the way I read it was, and I could be wrong because I don't exactly know the whole story, but when I listened to it initially, it kind of sounded like, you're lucky I went to jail, because if I was out, I would have fucked you up. Like, I didn't look at it as a threatening the career. I thought it was like threatening her, like, bodily harm.
I thought of it as like, this is part 2 to the Drake versus Meek thing, where it's like the big pop star versus someone who's sort of like, maybe you could consider more credible, but this time the diss song actually doesn't suck complete ass. You know what I mean? So it's just like, okay, this is what gives us a good foundation for like a whole beef and whatnot, Because like I said, like, I think that there was more than you guys are giving her credit for, bro. I think that she fucking shitted on Nicki Minaj's fucking life on this shit. Yeah, there were the sex references, but I felt like if it was just those, I feel like you could have made the point and been like, man, it's just doing the easy shit. Like, so what? Like, But there was also the thing about, like, are you supporting your brother even though he's a pedophile? I was just like, oh my God, wow. She has to show that Nicki can go down for at least one round. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where, like, it's not clear whether she's gonna win yet, but she's showing that, like, the pretty boy boxer who could never be touched just got hit on the jaw, And I feel like that's what this was. And also, like, she came at her from a lot of angles. First, there was the personals. Then there was just, like, showing she's a better wordsmith than her with the fucking play on the Nicki thing. Which I thought was dope. What she said, only the kids believe in you, you Saint Nick. Now when I shoot Nick at night, they don't understand it. I'm wilding out, about to hit Nick with the cannon. Like, come on. Like,
dude, that Nick Cannon line that was like, if the Mummy tried to punch you, you would see that coming a mile away.
Oh, come on.
Mile away. Listen,
look, it was earned, though. It's not like she just started with that. You know what I mean?
No, I get it, but there were so many things about the record that's just cliche when it comes to battle records. A lot of it was obviously Ether being the very first thing. Some of the lines in it, like the Nicolas Cage, I have heard that line so many times within the battle rap community. So many times, like, take his face off, Nicholas, like that sort of New York cadence. Obviously, both of these chicks, they're from New York. So, I mean, when it comes to the personals, to me, it's like if you're distant from someone, if they're not a label mate, if they're not somebody that you are a member of a crew with, personals are kind of null and void to me because a lot of them come through third-party sources. Obviously, in this case, Meek told me that your ass pop and your ass shots and all that stuff. And of course, in that situation, we could all assume, okay, it gives it more validity because he is the ex-boyfriend. But it's like, yeah, well, then he has a motive too because he's the ex-boyfriend. So personals to me, they always come when they come in third-party sources, they mean nothing. It's a lot different than if Wayne made a record on Drake and he told him some shit where it's real fucking talk because we know each other personally and everyone knows we knew each other personally. So on a diss record, personals, when the two parties are distant, it means they mean nothing to me. If it comes to bars, I believe at least. It's it's obviously all a subjective thing, but I think that Nicki is there with her in terms of wordplay. She's capable of doing it. She's
capable of it, but I worry again, as it always comes down to focus. When she did the latest direct battle track that Nicki Minaj has done to someone, as far as I remember, like, that we knew it was about this specific person, was fucking Stupid Ho.
Oh, God.
And that was the dumbest fucking battle rap I'd ever heard in my goddamn life. And so, like, when I heard that song, I was saying, like, wow, you, first of all, you're dissing someone that's, like, no one else was even thinking of anymore.
Right.
So, like, and, that also kind of takes away, like, you can't make an excuse now. You diss fucking Lil' Kim, who hasn't been relevant since 2003. Don't fucking tell me that you don't have time to diss Remy Ma. You know what I mean? And that's the problem. That was the problem that this has been building up to with doing shit like that. Is because now you're in the position, well, here's someone who just recently had a hit song, the All the Way Up, that came out last year. It was fucking blowing up New York City. You know what I mean? Like, sure, she didn't have, like, gold plaques or whatever, but she's out there. She's relevant now. Maybe not as relevant as you, but now she's come at your neck. You can't say you're just irrelevant, because like I said, you dissed Lil' Kim when no one asked you to. So what's your excuse this time?
We're having two different conversations then, because whether she responds or not, I'm not saying that she will or that anything. I'm saying that with what Remy left up there is still so much room, and whether she responds or not, we could come up with a lot of scenarios as to why it won't happen, whether she's scared of her or if it's more of a political type thing but I really don't. I'm not concerned with whether she responds or not. I think that this record has been so blown out of proportion, and it's a good record. And by the way, I suspected that in that little middle area when she goes off on the name flips and I think that's a sequence where she mentions the line that you said. I feel like Papoose has a hand in that.
Oh, he definitely helped with that
I
one.
feel like he has a hand. That is Papoose all the way. Yeah,
it felt so off from what was happening before.
Right. It was like this one part, and then nothing else in the verse sounded anything like that little pocket.
It goes from how you on the VMAs acting hood way across the stage, talking about Miley was good. That Hannah Montana, she's always happy. Only fronted on Mariah because Mariah don't carry. To a few lines down, you called yourself Nicki Lewinsky. You mind of a rookie. You sucked his dick. And now he's tired of your nookie. Like, wow, what happened?
Yeah.
No, but dude, when she goes on the stop talking numbers,
you signed a 360 deal.
Yeah. When she goes on it's just like, now you can't talk about money because she already undercut the whole idea of you being, richer than her. She said, like, I own my own shit and I own my masters. And I know what happens with 360 deals. And at this point, we all kind of know what a 360 deal is. You know what I mean?
I don't know if Nicki's gonna respond. I would like her to, only because I find this shit fascinating and fun to watch.
Just for the spirit of competition,
sure.
You should. Like,
this will play out the same way that Joe Budden and Drake played out Drake baited him.
No. It won't. Because
well, listen, I just mean in the sense that it'll. Drake baited him with the record with French Montana, and then Button went off on like 3 to 4 songs, and then that's it.
Okay,
Drake never fucking said
no.
back.
That was the problem. We talked about this. The problem with Joe is that he did too much too fast.
Yeah.
Like, cause with the first song, it's like, oh snap, you just came at him. With the second song, it's like, oh, you got some more heat for him. The third song, it kind of feels like, do you have anything else to do but make these songs? Because that already makes you look like the desperate person. That's the problem. Yeah, she can't, like, Remy Ma has to chill out. She can't, like, come back again with another song, because that would fuck up the whole flow.
If she has a song out by Friday, yeah, I'm fucking calling it. There's no need for that.
If she drops one, that's it, you're done?
If she does a second one, it's gonna be like, all right. Well, like, because has Nicki even, like, said anything in response?
Well, if she has. She's responded on, like, social media, and I think that's where Nicki Minaj fucked up. She's letting her emotion get the best of her, because after that Trey Songz line, Trey Songz said something on Twitter where he was like, I'm tired of the internet, the general public is so stupid, I ain't dealing with this shit, and da-da-da. And then Nicki Minaj, like, retweeted it and was like, what you should be saying is that it's not true. Real niggas do real things. I done got you plaques, so why aren't you speaking out for me? It's like, no! No. Because you're putting too much emotionality out there first, instead of putting forth the, I got this. Now it looks like, come on, dude, how come you aren't sticking up for me? Hey, what are you doing? You know, and that automatically makes it look like, I know, it's like, now I know you've heard the song.
Yeah.
And now I know that you're reaching out for people to help you. You know what I mean? Instead of, she should have just been like, we haven't heard any comment from her yet. You know, that way it's still ambiguous. We don't know what she thinks about it. You know what I mean?
If Nicki Minaj doesn't respond and doesn't have a follow-up and just kind of lets this die, what's the worst that could happen? Like,
nothing.
Yeah, she really doesn't have anything at stake here.
There's no consequence.
There's no...
Beyond the shame of defeat.
The female rapper is it's a thing where, you know, like I've always said, it's like presidential term limits. It's for whatever reason one emerges and then she pretty much stays there for a long period of time. And no one's created enough noise to change that. I mean, like you've got records here from, you know, people like Young Ma. That's probably the biggest thing. Those are the biggest things that have happened since Nicki's gotten to the top, and that there hasn't been enough. There will be soon. I'm sure somebody else is going to emerge, but no, it's not going to affect her at all, not in the least. And she knows that, which is why she's not responding. And I think Remy knew that, which is why Remy didn't respond when everything was flipped. You know, when Nicki was when she was SpongeBob Nicki. You know, so she didn't say anything to her then, and that was over. Remy's beat, so it was pretty obvious. So it won't hurt her. It won't. And I think by the end of this week, if it's Friday and there's no response, then yeah, this isn't going to happen.
Although Pink Friday would be the perfect time to come back.
Friday would be the perfect time. Well, I spoke about this on my channel that I think people put way too much value on the turnover, like how quickly you make the track, which I think that is part of what ruined Remy's song to me. What ruined it to me. I still think it's a good record, but I just don't think it's that great. But what would have been the difference had she dropped it today or two days ago? You know what I'm saying?
Wait, what do you mean?
What difference would it have made within the urgency that it had to be dropped, where everything wasn't able to be fine-tuned? Because, I mean, remember the part at the end when she did the whole 360 sequence and then she goes, I own my own independent. I was like, what? That sounded so awkward. And I was like, well, okay, we fell off track for a second, but okay, keep going. Just awkward.
No, that wasn't offbeat. It was just the rhyme was a multisyllabic rhyme beforehand, and it didn't fit with it to do that afterhand. You know what I mean?
She kind of cut the rhythm off right there. Like,
yeah. The rhythm the rhythm wasn't followed through on, and your brain sort of recognizes that, and so you just go like,
it's uncalled for, and it should have sounded better, but. If she would have just taken a day longer, that's it, and it would have sounded better, and That's
no,
all.
I
If you're
got
gonna
you. It's
use
not
that
like-
ether beat, you don't use that fucking ether beat unless you're gonna use it fucking properly. All right, you don't pull it out unless you're gonna use it properly.
One more thing. We just this was just brought to my attention a couple days ago. RC sent me a video, and I don't know if you had seen this. There's a good chance you had. Kodak Black, and the video. What was the name of the video?
Tunnel Vision.
Tunnel Vision. Okay, so I'm just gonna tell you guys and everyone who hasn't seen this video yet what happens in this video first, okay? Because this is what
Kodak Black fails miserably.
I have such an issue with this, but just on the surface, on the surface of this concept.
No, I haven't seen it. Go ahead.
This white dude with a "Make America Hate Again" hat and like Confederate flags on his jacket and shit. He's driving down the road and he gets out and he's like loading bullets into this gun, and he's like, oh, he's going hunting. Okay. But then you find out, oh, he showed up at this black dude's house. He's gonna be hunting him. Oh no! So dude gets down and he's aiming his gun, and the black dude's just kind of standing there looking at him like, yeah, go ahead. And the bullet, it like the gun fucks up, and he's like, oh no! And the black dude just sort of charges at him, and he starts taking him down, and he's beating him, and he's just beating the shit out of him. And at one point, he takes a fucking American flag and wraps it around the white guy's throat, and he's choking him out. And at the end of the video, this little white girl comes from somewhere and says stop, and that's when the video ends.
Well, the most like non-convincing stop I've ever heard in my life. Stop.
See, now on the surface, if this video came out, people would be like, wow, what the fuck, this is like controversial city, like everyone needs to see this is fucking crazy. Fucking websites would be like, this Kodak Black video is exactly what I needed today. Like something like that, right?
Yeah, that bullshit, yeah.
Kodak Black is all of us in this video where his, But here's where my issue lies. Oh, I also forgot the part where they're singing and dancing in front of burning crucifixes. I forgot that part.
Yeah, well, burning crucifixes and like KKK guys being hung.
That's right. So, what do you think the song is about? Darren, I'm gonna let you field this one. The lyrics, I mean.
Yeah, see, and therein lies the motherfucking problem. This guy made his song, I guess, and then he was like, oh, wait a minute. Hey, I want to do like a Kendrick Lamar video. Well, do you have any Kendrick Lamar songs?
No.
No, but...
No. So he just took a regular Kodak Black. This isn't him having any commentary. There's nothing.
No.
Nothing. Not one line.
It's all about fucking bitches
give
and
us
like
one
women selling
line.
drugs. That's
Girl, I don't want to be the one you igging. My mama told me, boy, make a decision. Girl, I don't want to be the one you igging. Lil Kodak, they don't like to see you winning. They want to see you in the penitentiary. I need my little baby who gonna listen. Girl, I don't want to be the one you igging.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, is this even a verse? Oh, that's the chorus.
Meanwhile, just
that is the chorus.
choking a motherfucker out with an American flag.
And then he says, she want to see me every day. She want to be my bae. That money make me come. It made me fornicate. I'm the shit. Need some toilet paper.
Straight from the Wayne vault.
Yes. And,
I told that baby to come over because I'm fucking horny. I'm choking out this white guy.
And to top it all off, by the way, if anyone is Googling Kodak Black, he was just sentenced for 5 years probation for charges of selling drugs, running from cops, and gun possession just yesterday.
Nice. Upstanding citizen.
Yes!
Yeah.
Like, dude, maybe you're not the right person to make this song. Not even song. You're not the right person to be... Like, did they think that they... maybe the director thought he was, like, going for, like... Kendrick Lamar. Maybe he's like, oh snap, I always wanted to do a video with Kendrick Lamar. This is awesome. No, not Kendrick, Kodak. Oh shit.
Yeah,
video
that
looks
video
good.
The video sounds a lot like Mick Jenkins's Water.
What's this now?
Mick Jenkins, Water. I'm sorry, not Water, Drown. Yeah, in the video, it's Mick Jenkins is a slave, and they're obviously slave masters there, and they're whipping him. It's very graphic, and at least for a rap video. So then at one point, the slaves revolt, it's on some Nat Turner shit. So then at the end of the video, right before the slaves are going to drown their slave masters, a biracial girl comes out and she's like, "Stop!"
Oh my God.
And everybody's like looks in astoundment of this girl and her voice. Well, you don't hear her say it, obviously. But they then decide to just let the slaves go on a raft. But that video sounds exactly like, so it probably it's the same director.
Okay, you know what it was? They wanted to make their formation. Like the song's not directly.
By the way, I'm sorry. When did this drop?
It was like last week.
Oh, okay. Because I was wondering. Oh shit, who knows? Kodak Black might have done this like 5 years ago. Okay, but a week ago, got you. Yeah.
But yeah, because formation wasn't directly about what the song was about, but the song wasn't like the music video wasn't like so about like the police state and whatever that you couldn't like take it out of the context and be able to enjoy the sort of double thing going on. But this video has a very direct narrative that's happening, and so you're kind of thinking like, okay, that's not fitting what's happening when you're talking about I'm trying to fuck this bitch and going over to her place. Like you have to have at least a little bit of something. You have to have some connective tissue, bruh. You know what I mean? So I'm watching this video, and yeah. When it gets to the girl, like I'm trying to think like, okay, so who is the girl supposed to be? Because it can't be that guy's like daughter, because I didn't think he was near his house when he went to this other black guy's house. Like, how close do they live to each other? Like, where his daughter is just like near his house for some reason. And second of all, so I feel like they were trying to do why won't somebody think of the children, man? Won't you think of the children and the kids that have to see this violence? But the thing is, it's like, okay, narratively, as far as I know, the black dude was just kind of minding his own business.
Yeah, he was like farming. He was like tending to a field.
Yeah, like, it's like, he's minding his own business, doing his thing. A guy shows up to fucking shoot him in the face. And it's just like, oh my God, I have to protect myself because this guy's gonna kill me. Get the fuck out of me. I'm just gonna start beat his ass up because I don't know, like, who this guy is, where he's coming from, you know what I mean? And then for them to have the little kid like, oh, you two guys just being violent and not even thinking about it. What's wrong with you? It's like, what are you talking about? I wasn't doing anything. It's like, oh man, we need to stop this racial violence, white guy and black guy. Black guy, you need to think about what you were doing wrong too. It's like, I wasn't doing it. I was minding my goddamn business.
On the same coin, you see, you got the black guy choking out the white guy with the flag. So she yells stop, or kind of says stop. I don't know. She politely suggests that he stop. And he looks over
was it like Peter Griffin when he was being whipped? When he was being whipped like Jesus, and he said, "Hey, stop it! Stop it!" And the guy just said, "Okay." Was it like that?
The black dude looks over like, "Oh, I didn't know someone else was here." But the white guy also makes the face. Like, dude, you're currently being choked out by with a flag. Wouldn't you take that opportunity to like get the fuck up and run away?
Yeah, punch him in the gut and run.
It reminded me a lot of the close your eyes and count to fuck video. You remember that one?
Who did that?
What happened in that one?
It was the Run the Jewels video where it's like actually I'm gonna have to look at exactly what the
was this the one where the chasing the cop, or the cop chasing the
and like he like chases him down the street and like chases him into his apartment,
and this is right, okay,
and they're like kicking the shit out of each other and all this,
and then they just sort of get tired, don't they? Just get tired or something? Like, hey, this is stupid.
Yeah, they're both just like sitting on opposite sides of the bed, just like looking in opposite directions, like what the fuck happened? And yeah, in the video, the camera just
Why are
pans
we
out.
doing this?
See, as awesome as I thought that video...
No little girl at the end of the video, though.
I was just going to say, as awesome as that video was, it really could have used a stop.
Sorry. No little girl. I love the fact that there's a guy out there, like, with some big cigar, and he's, like, listening on, like, big video ideas, and you pitched it to him, and it's like, but where's the little girl?
No, gotta have a little girl in there.
No little girl. What? Where is she?
He's sitting back in his chair, just like looking up, smoking the cigar, like leaning back, and he's like, "Is that it? What do you mean that's it? No little girl?" This week on the Going Off podcast, we got another Patreon request coming your way, coming all the way back from 2010. David, the David. He's like Prince. It's like Madonna. David has requested Disc-Overy by Tinie Tempah. You remember Tinie Tempah? Earlier, we were talking about how, like, female rappers have, like, the presidential term. That was basically the same thing where it was like, we already have B.O.B. Do we really need Tinie Tempah? We'll give him one big single, but that's it. If B.O.B. doesn't want to leave, Tinie Tempah's he's gonna have to go.
Yeah, like, and they're sort of like inoffensive, you know, they're not really like...
Well, at least were, before B.O.B. started picking fight with fucking scientists and shit.
And also, the name of this album, come on, man.
Disc-Overy.
You know Daft Punk did this shit.
Dude, by the way, he's got a new album coming out the 31st of this month.
Yeah, so poo-poo on your idea that he was over.
Oh, yeah, I guess we'll just have to see if it charts.
Yeah, it ain't over, motherfucker.
I guess not.
Let me see. You're gonna be tapping your toe to the hit song's Text from Your Ex.
Oh, God.
Look, he actually has, like, consistent hits in the UK. Like, he's doing big things.
Yeah. Doesn't mean shit over here, or to me.
It is, but it is not happening in America.
No, no.
I'm looking over to the right to, like, you know, because I'm used to looking to the left to see, like, oh, where
to the left.
You know, they always put America first, you know.
America first, like, yes.
But then they're like, oh, shit, sorry, that's my America-centric mind. I gotta look over to the right. And I'm like, because, you know, I look over to the left, I was like, oh, okay, he's doing pretty good. Ah, shit, maybe I just haven't been paying attention. And I was like, oh, wait, that's the UK. Oh. Never fucking mind. The highest he got. I remember the Till I'm Gone. That was also kind of boring, but that wasn't his fault. That was kind of Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah.
Because he's also, like, another, like, skinny, sort of inoffensive guy, but he had dreads, so he kind of looked different. You know? There was a lot of those skinny, inoffensive black guys at that time. That was just the era.
Sure, yeah.
To be skinny, inoffensive black guy. Wearing shades. Because they always wear shades. It's too bright.
Till I'm Gone was the one I recognized, so maybe it did get a little bit of radio play. I don't know. Again, it's been like half a decade since then.
It's been over a decade, almost 10 years. Jesus. And, you know, I'm like dumping on him like I don't like him. I don't know why I'm doing that. Like, I actually like Written in the Stars. I don't know why I'm doing this right now. Like, he's heard this and be like, well, that motherfucker ain't invited on a tour, you know?
I thought this album, I'm just gonna skip right ahead to it. This was like as 3 as it gets, in my opinion. This was like, man, this is not memorable. This is... It might just not have aged well. Maybe if I listened back to this in 2010, I would have thought way more highly of it. But, I don't know, like, not one of these songs, like, afterwards, I was like, man, I want to go back. I thought Wonder Man was cool on principle, and I thought it was cool that Ellie Goulding was on that song, like, right around the time she started popping. But, I don't know. Like, it was alright. Like I said, it's pretty fucking average, in my opinion.
I kind of get that feeling too, but I felt that it was consistent enough where that it was more than like a 3.
Consistently average? Consistent mediocre?
Because it was interesting, like, and maybe it's just because I'm not used to this rhythmic feel of like music over, you know, in the UK, because it does have a different sound than over here.
I like the way you phrase that sentence, because before you finish it, it just sounded like you said, "I'm not familiar with the to the rhythm of this music." Like you're just an alien who doesn't understand music.
No,
what is this special sound?
No, specifically like hip hop over in England, like literally goes at like a different tempo than a lot of hip hop in America. And, like a lot of times you'd hear how they do the double time drum thing like for the last like 30 seconds of the song. Like I think that's just like that's just what they do, you know? Like that's that's a signature thing. And you know, when I hear that, I kind of feel like, all right, this is a little off-putting, it feels weird. But then like when I retune myself, you know, when I listened to it the second time, I was like, actually, it's kind of cool to have the little double time there. Like I could see going to a concert and, you know, this fucking making you wild out. You know what I mean? So like there were a lot of those moments where I was like, at first I wasn't used to it, but upon like second or third listen, I'm like, okay, I kind of see what you're going for. My ears are adapting to this a little bit, you know? But yeah, my problem with it is he doesn't do enough to stick out more.
Yeah.
And like, so like the stage is set, right? Like we have these very engaging, different sounding beats. We have, just the fact that I like British accents.
Yeah.
That's just kind of a cheat code for me. So like, all right, I'm already kind of interested. And then it's like, so what are you saying, you know? And there are points where he's saying interesting things, but it's like the first maybe 3 or 4 tracks are kind of interchangeable. They're good, but it's just like all of these could have been the intro to this album, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's like, it kind of feels like the album starts like 4 times, which is weird because the first song is called Intro, but it's just like a normal song.
Yeah. Which
know?
is,
So
we've talked about this for like the last 3 or so episodes where it's like, don't call it an intro. Just fucking think of a goddamn name, dude. Like, if it's not literally introducing you to the album or acting as like an overture or something, just fucking give it a name.
Yeah.
If you don't have an outro, why have an intro?
This becomes a big hit. You're like, yeah, my best song, Intro.
Intro! Oh, yeah. That really is just asking of, don't play this on the radio.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, don't pay any attention to the song. Why would you do that? Why would you knowingly do that to yourself?
And you have Illusion, which I thought was going to go into something. Like, the chorus is about, like, you know, I can make you believe. And I'm like, oh, where's he going with this? Is it like a, you know, is it like, oh, he's going to meet someone who's going to, like, bring something to him that can make him famous, like, and that's like his recording deal or some sort of metaphor or something like that. And it's just like, oh, no, it was just another song about how he can do whatever. You know, like, this album, he's very comfortable with himself. Like, everything's all good for old Tinie Tempah. I tried to say his real name, but that shit ain't happening.
Big things popping for Tinie Tempah.
But it's like there's no conflicts going on this album. Like, he is completely content. Everything's good. Like, there was at one point a problem, but I'm kind of good now, you know?
So I gotta ask, the song Illusion, was it far from perfect?
What was that a reference to? You seem very self-satisfied about a reference to something.
It was a perfect illusion.
Oh, god damn it. What? Really?
Yes!
Use his humor, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm out!
So then you had, like, the So Addicted, which is like the obligatory, girl, I love you just so much, girl.
I'm so addicted.
And, yeah, every time I need a fix, you're like a pill, 'cause you know how to make me feel better, 'cause you're ill.
That's probably like, my least favorite trope of songwriting, comparing your loved one to a drug. I did a montage of this shit like a long ass time ago. So many fucking people have done it, like spanning genres. Rock bands do it a lot. there was that fucking song like, I'm so addicted to all the things you do, and then there was like a Simple Plan song that did it, and it's like, Jesus. Your Love Is My Drug, the Kesha song.
Yeah.
Done
but
to death.
The thing here, specifically, is that he does the, oh, but you're the opposite of that thing, but it doesn't make any sense. Like, you're like a pill, because you know how to make me feel better. Because you're ill. Like, what? Like, a sick person doesn't make you feel better? What are you talking about?
He's saying that exposing himself so much to this person with an illness is strengthening his immune system. It's like getting a flu shot. It just gives you a little bit of it, so you'll be able to fight off the rest of it.
The first song that really got my attention was Snap. I mean, it was still kind of weird. Like, he was just like, I still have a picture of this girl that I dated. And my sister's like, that's kind of weird. Why do you have that?
I wish those were
like,
the lyrics. Hey, Tinie, what the fuck you doing with that, you creep?
It's like, I mean, you know, when you put it like that, it is kind of weird.
Throw that shit away, loser. Oh, okay.
But, you know, it's like him saying, like, yeah, you know, I'm a like a hoarder in a way. Like, I kind of like keeping these things, you know? Like, I enjoyed that, because that kind of gives you a bit of his personality. But I do kind of feel like a lot of this doesn't really give us really him, you know?
Yeah.
Especially for an album called Disc-Overy.
No, it's Disc-Overy.
Disc-Ovaries?
Dude, that's a missed opportunity. You could have at least made a line about that, one of the songs.
How this music is getting up in them guts.
See, man, Tinie. I mean, I know you got a new album coming out soon anyway, so you're not exactly low on ideas or anything, but hit us up, bro.
Dude, he's gonna make this next album, and we're gonna shut our mouths.
Right?
We're gonna be like, oh, how could we have doubted him?
See, unfortunately for him, we may have reviewed it, but since we're already reviewing this Patreon one now, it'd be like 2 Tinie Tempah albums in a month, and you know we're not fucking doing that shit.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's asking. Well, I mean, now they will, because...
Oh, god damn it. Because now we're saying nobody's going to, now everyone is going to?
But yeah, what did he say? He had this lyric where he said, yeah, this is actually the song where I feel like he gets the most personal, where he tells us about himself, being in his dad's barbershop and how he had to, you know, do work, but he didn't want to, but, like, he looked up to his dad, shit like that. It's like, that's cool. Then he had this one lyric where he's like, I talked to this chick that used to love me off. She used to send me lovely pictures of her lovely, now they're even bigger and they're busty, and it's like, I don't know if it, like, are you telling me that, like, oh yeah, I took pictures of her boobs and I still have them, and she got like, did she get like breast implants? I don't know. It just feels weird to put that there, and then to say lovely, and it's just like, I thought he meant like lovely cunt, because I don't know what rhymes with bustia. That would be lovely, like. Boobs?
It's like no. He's just trying to make like like an exasperated, like, oh, I'm getting hot just thinking about it type thing.
Oh yeah.
But it doesn't work. It's like, so
because
it was like,
I don't know what the rhyme is.
Yeah, what's the rhyme supposed to be? Like, that's not a way to achieve it. Oh, okay. Bustier. Lovely. Yeah, that works.
Yeah, like whenever I hear rhymes like that, I think of what they were doing when they wrote that. Like, what was the thought process? I was like, lovely.
You see, like, we're also thinking about it backwards. We're thinking, how did it, he had bustier and then needed a rhyme to word with it, a word to rhyme with it. No, he started with lovely.
Yeah.
Like, what? That was your first go-to. Lovely. Shit. Hey, Wiz. What rhymes with lovely, What? You fucking with me? It reminds me of the, she wanna hug me? What rhymes with hug me? Like, well, not what you think.
Yeah, because that, like, if you're gonna do the sort of oh, that rhyme's not there, but you're thinking of it. It has to so closely resemble what the original word is that we can hear it.
Yeah.
But if you just said she wants to hug me, rhymes with hug me, immediately I'm thinking of, well, drug me.
Oh no.
So how's that good? Thug me? Bug me? Like, when you're saying, like, oh, what rhymes with hug me? Oh, it's supposed to be fuck me. Like, no, because that's not what I thought of.
She wanna hug me? What rhymes with hug me? I meant bug me in the context of annoying me constantly and not leaving me alone.
Or maybe, like I said, if you've had a word like, see, now I can't even think of a word that would go there. He says, I'm so lucky, but then he goes into, you want to hug me. And so my brain doesn't think of the lucky anymore. I'm thinking of the hug me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like he almost did it.
You almost did it, Robin. I know this doesn't mean anything to you now when you're in, like, financial ruin, but...
Dude, what happened? That shit happened so goddamn quick, too.
That was a quick
I remember
turnaround,
him,
dude.
he was around for a long time. I remember he did a bunch of songs with Lil Wayne every now and then. I was like, oh, yeah, he's around, like, whatever. He's like the blue-eyed soul white guy who's there. He's, like, cool. He's a cool white guy, whatever. And then it was just like... One day he had the big single. I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's old boy that I remember from the Lil Wayne song. And then it's like some picture of him like touching some girl's butt got out and shit was just fucking over.
That fucking Marvin Gaye lawsuit fucking killed him. It was that,
Jesus.
And he also, like, right around that same time, like, got divorced and, like, wrote a whole album, like, dedicated to his ex-wife, and people were like, oh.
But the thing is, that I've never known that to be a bad thing.
Right.
Like, when people, when rumors, that was all about, like, oh, well, I guess they were in a band together,
At
so
the
it's kind
time,
of like, yeah. But, Marvin Gaye, didn't he do the Here, My Dear?
Oh, so there he is, ripping him off again. You fucking ripped off that party joint, and now you got this new album out where you're a fucking statue. What the hell are you doing? How many more times do you think you can get away with this, Robin? We're on to you.
Well, yeah, he had the big hit single, and if it weren't for the fact that, yeah, he had a couple joints back in the day because he had the Lost Without You. That was like 2007.
That was a big one.
So
yeah.
It's not like, so he's not a one-hit wonder technically.
No.
But you would fucking think he was the way he just dropped the fuck off the map.
Dude, Miley Cyrus's ass was like the kiss of death. Someone sent her out there to curse Robin Thicke. That's why he was so surprised. It wasn't planned. Oh, Molly, what do you do? Oh, it's like, just rub your ass on him. He'll be fine with it. He'll actually insist you do it more. He won't have a problem with it, and his career will be over within the year.
Wasn't that when he was wearing the Beetlejuice suit?
The Beetlejuice suit, yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, what the fuck were we talking? Oh, yeah, the album.
Tinie Tempah, yeah. Mr. 3.
Man, I don't mean to sound disparaging to the dude, because, like, like he brought a whole bunch of people together. He wanted this album to be special.
Right.
But I don't think he wanted it to be special enough for that to work. Like I said, Snap is weird, but it's weird in a way that's unique to him. And Written in the Stars I actually really like. Listening back to it again, like,
single, yeah.
Yeah, totally. Then you get Frisky, which is just, it just sounds dirty. Like, I don't ever want to listen to that song again. It's just like, it's not even like dirty in a cool way. It's just dirty and just like, I just don't like the way he says Frisky.
Frisky isn't a cool word anyway.
Yeah, maybe it's a cool British word. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Like maybe that's just like the thing to say in England. Like, oh man, baby, I'm feeling frisky. Do I make you Randy, baby? I don't know if they still do the Austin Powers thing.
We're gonna make Whoopi.
No, because there are little things that they say that are kind of like, wait, I don't know what that meant. And then, like, you look it up and it's like, oh, that's like an English thing. And, like, it's so removed from my sort of, knowledge of, like, culture that I'm just like, I didn't know what that was. Like, there was one thing he says, like, Ab-Obe, and I was like, what the fuck is that? and it turns out that's like the tic-tac-toe of like England. And I was like, oh. Yeah. I can't remember what song it was, but it was just like Ib-Ab-O. I was like, what the fuck is he doing?
Well, that's kind of cool in that context.
Yeah. Look at us getting cultured.
Mm-hmm.
Also, can I ask, why do albums still do the thing where in one country it's one track, like the track list is a certain way, but in another country they do like the track listing a completely different way, where it's like track 3 is now track 11 for some fucking reason, because I guess people in America just wouldn't be able to understand this track yet, so we gotta save it for the last one. Like,
yeah. I remember they used to do that shit with Beatles records back in the day, and I thought it was weird. Then it was like, oh, well, this is the British version and this is the American version. Even sometimes, like, one album wouldn't even have a song the other one would have. Like, I think in this case, that Wiz Khalifa song wasn't on the original. Yeah. It was on, like, the American, like, reissue or whatever. But yeah, I don't know what the fuck the point of that is. Like, if it's different songs, maybe it's like, oh, well, there's a different taste over here. This is what's big. But if it's just track listing, yeah, I don't get that.
And then there was the, Love Suicide. That one was straight corny. Like, I'm sorry, that's a pretty strong fucking word. You can't just put that in a fucking, our love is suicide and it's on the killing yourself. You know what I mean?
It isn't a word you can play with, no.
Yeah, like, I had the same feeling when,
Sean Kingston?
Yes! Yeah, they'll have you suicidal. Like, when I first heard that song, I was like, this is never gonna be a hit.
And then, much to your surprise.
I know! But it was just like, because the thing is, like, yeah, oh yeah, who's the guy? The Suicide Song guy, you know?
The Suicide guy, yeah.
Yeah, like, unless the song is about that, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, to a serious degree. You can't just throw that word in there.
And if it was, you wouldn't be fucking jauntily sampling fucking Stand By Me.
Yeah, exactly. But this one in particular is, what does she say? She's like, and the way she's singing it, it's just, the word and the repetition of it does not match the energy that the song is doing. Like, it's like, I love suicide, I love suicide, I love suicide. Like, stop it. Stop doing that. You know? Oh, tell me the reason why you committed love suicide. Like, that's just corny.
Yeah.
Why did you commit love suicide? Like,
tell me.
Stop it. It's like, it's an overdramatic word used in a completely undeserved context.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it honestly reminded me of that Lupe Fiasco song from Great American Rap Album Part 1, where he's like, you hope it heals, but it never does. That's because you're at war with love. Like, stop it. It's like when fucking Eminem ended that verse, oh, watch it leave out the window. Guess that's why they call it window pane. No,
Boo.
no. You're destroying the whole dramatic build-up.
I guess that's why they call it window pane. Now's no time to be thinking over puns and wordplay.
No, like, you know what's funny? There's a little drop right before, there's a little music drop right before the chorus comes back in. And it's just enough time for you to yell, boo!
Leaving out the window because that's why they call it window pane. Oh, I just got that. Boo!
No. It goes like, just like this. You want you to leave out the window? I guess that's why they call it window pane. Boo! Just gonna
I'm just thinking about someone, like, thinking it to themselves and then saying it, just being like, oh, now I get it.
like I just love how they paused there because he needed a second to get that one.
They put that in there so you can have the feels, so the feels can wash over you.
Like, oh man.
Oh, I know that window pane. I've felt that window pane firsthand.
But it just doesn't connect. Like I said, I don't know about you, but the first time I heard it, I immediately heard the boo, just gotta
That's a really bad line. Yeah, especially for like the height of the drama of that song.
Yeah, I kind of want to make a supercut where that happens.
And fine.
that's why they call it Winnipeg. Boo, just gonna the infamous Boo.
The infamous Boo.
Is that like the Simpsons that you use?
Oh yeah.
Shout out to the homie D. Who's D? D's the Boo.
Dude,
It's so angry.
I know you didn't listen to that album when we reviewed it with Rav, but you just got to listen to that album in full, dude. It's trash. It's straight trash.
Miami to Ibiza was not a single, apparently, in America, but it was in, like, Britain.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, this song, you know what's really funny? He says Ibiza, and that's actually the way you're supposed to say it. Yeah, it's because, like, there's a part of Spain where people have, like, a lisp, but that's part of it. Like, it's part of the... I don't know if maybe all their tongues developed that way, or it's just like, that's just how you say Z's. You say it like that's just what you do.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, but this is the one with Swedish House Mafia.
Oh.
And, you know, it's like, it's okay. It's cool.
Forgot all about Swedish House Mafia.
Yeah, are they still a thing?
Probably not.
I remember they were blowing shit up, like, when I was in college.
Well, what was that one big hit?
Sleep, rinse, rave, repeat.
No.
All the songs kind of run together for me.
Oh, it was like a big radio hit. Oh shit. Hold on. Cause heaven's got a plan for you. Then close your eyes. No?
What the fuck are you doing?
I'm trying to think how that fucking song went. Cause I'm gonna play for you. I don't know. You just remember the part where it goes, it's like, cause heaven's got a plan for you. Don't you worry, child. That was it.
Oh, I remember that.
Got
yeah. That's one of those songs where it's like, it was around, but I never knew, like, my brain never acknowledged that it was a real song. It was just a sound that I heard, you know?
It was just in the background, it was white noise.
Yeah, it was just like, I guess that's just a sound that's a part of the year 2012.
Yeah. I get them confused with that group that did, Like a G6. Who was that?
Really? That's completely different. That's Far East Movement. Those dudes are Asian.
Far East Movement. I know, but it's like a similar name.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess.
It's 3 words. That's how it's similar.
Literally a different
it
part of the
refers
fucking
to a
world.
location. It's 3 words. Mafia movement. Huh? M's. So, 2 more tracks in this fucker. Got,
okay,
Wonder
so...
Man. I hate the name, but I thought the song was pretty good.
Yeah, it's like, is that like the British Superman? Like, who is
Wonder Man? We couldn't get the rights to Superman.
Wonder Man? Like, it's like, I kind of like the idea of using, like, samples from, like, cartoons or whatever this is from, but it was just, like, slightly too corny to work.
Oh, yeah, I mean, because when MF Doom does it, you know, it's, like, real shit. But this one, I think they were just, like, creating them for the song, and it was just like, what is this?
Yeah, it's just not, it's not as cool.
No.
Like, when it's manufactured, you know? Mm-hmm. It's cool. Like, it's very serviceable.
Yeah.
But, like, that tail end kind of made me think, like, oh, wait, maybe something's gonna change. Maybe he's gonna go, like, I actually feel like shit. I don't actually like any of this at all. You know? Like, it would have been such, like, a switch up from, like, holy shit, this whole album has just been building up to him going, fuck all of this, I hate fame. Why did I do this? You know what I mean?
Shit written in the stars for me.
Yeah, but it never has that self-realization. It never pulls itself to that next moment. I would actually be nice on you. I'd give it a 4.
Okay.
Because I feel like there are a lot of good moments on it. It's a brisk listen, you know, real quick.
It's like 40 minutes.
I feel like giving it a 4 is bad, and I feel like I should give it less, but I don't know. I feel like, you know what I feel like? I feel like musically, the ideas are really solid.
Yeah.
And he's a cool personality. Like, I could imagine, like, hanging out with him and it being cool, but I feel like no individual song sort of... Individually, songs don't mean more than the album as a whole. It's a cool album listen. Like, I could imagine driving out with friends and listening to this whole album front to back. But like after the party's over, there's really nothing else to grab onto, you know?
Yeah.
And I was wondering when I saw the Miami to Ibiza song, I was like, how is this gonna fit onto an album from a rapper? Like, you know what I mean? Because like Miami to Ibiza is a very just like silly party song. Like, so for them to jam it in the middle of an album does feel a little like, why is this here? But then it's like, oh, the rest of the album's like this too. You know?
Well, with that, Patreon requests are the one-time $40 pledge to either of our Patreons. Slowed down considerably.
Yeah,
what'd you look at that?
Thank God, I got a lot of shit.
Yeah, I still got. And like I know as someone, you know, passing by, I might be like, oh wow, you pumped it up from 20 to 40. Of course you're getting less. What the hell? You're shooting yourself in the foot. You set yourself up for failure. Dude, can I just let you in on a little thing? We've got like 12 at least more to get to. Like, fucking 2015, 2016 blew us the fuck up. I'm just gonna, hold on.
We underestimated how much people wanted these.
If this is your first time listening, hey, thanks for checking us out. Big thanks to D-Respect. Next week is episode 100, and it's a big deal. So we're gonna have a question and answer portion of the show. Patreon supporters are gonna get first dibs on questions, and when I say that, I want to have it so if you're a Patreon pledger supporter and you give a question, we're definitely gonna answer your question. It's like even if it's like, you know, not that great of a question, we'll at least read it, you know. But everyone else is like Facebook and Twitter, like we'll just be picking the best ones. Or if you're posting it as a comment on YouTube, we'll just be cherry picking. We already got a lot. I posted an announcement video earlier this week, and we got a shit ton of comments on that one, so we'll have that going on. And who knows who might else stop? Who might else? Wait. Who knows?
Who else might?
Who knows who else might stop by? There it is. Thank you. But until then, for episode 99, holy shit, of the Going Off podcast, I'm Muse.
And I'm Rap Critic. Go see Get Out. Apparently that is like the shit.